It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
Yes, we are back. We are back for another episode of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the podcast. Hey, everybody, it's Tyrone Jackson back again, or as I like to say, the lovable Tyrone Jackson. I hope I'm lovable in your life, even though we've had crazy volatility in the stock market. Now, I know a lot of you like to volatility trade, right? So when a stock goes up, we like to sell it, buy it back. But the kind of volatility we've seen lately, well, it's not the kind that you favor because a lot of your stocks have dropped. We are in the middle of a classic correction. And a correction is when there is something external outside of the market kind of scaring the market, to put it in layman's terms, and therefore big institutions like banks and insurance companies, well, they take profit, stocks drop, it's almost like a reset, and then they rise again. Now that rise again is called retracement. And you have to live through several pullbacks to suddenly realize there's a pattern here. So for an experienced trader like myself, even when the market pulled back, there was a lot of very fast money to be made. If you've never studied in the stock market, the only thing you can do is simply look at the value of your stocks when they go down and panic. Well, I want you to know there's no need to panic. Why? Because a stock can only do one of three things: go up, go down, or stay the same. Go up, go down, or stay the same. Now, for some of you who are still learning about the stock market, another way to express that in financial terms is to say the market can only be bullish. That's when stocks rise, because bulls on Wall Street represent aggression. Bearish, stocks are dropping because bears represent retreat. Or the market can be neutral, where stocks don't go anywhere at all. And the kings on Wall Street, well, they don't have an animal for that. So we're in a market that is, in the short term, bearish. But we're going to convert back to a bullish market. And how do I say that with so much confidence? Because I've been trading for over 20 years. You can predict the patterns over time. Now, today's episode is all about Apple and their last earnings period, which was phenomenal. We're talking about Q4 of 2021. I'm going to get to Apple here just in a second, and by the end of the show, I will tell you what I think. Is it a better stock to trade, or is it a better stock to hold on to? We'll get to that in just a little while. Now, Apple's last quarter was absolutely outstanding. This company is somewhat complex in that it has a lot of divisions. But before we get to the company, what makes the stock price rise? Well, in this case, it's lots of institutional money that are willing to hold the shares, collect dividends into the long term. Now, what does long term mean here? Well, essentially means for at least 5 years. So when you hear me talk about stocks that are in favor for the long term, I'm talking about stocks that Wall Street likes at least for the next 5 years. Now, why only the next 5 years? Well, companies are changing, the economy is changing, and technology is changing. So we don't know if Apple will be in favor in 5 years. However, if this trend continues, the stock will be. Why? Because big money likes it. Now, a lot of you know what I mean when I say big money. I mean banks, insurance companies, hedge funds, and mutual funds. And when they like a stock, we refer to that stock as in favor. You see, this show is all about helping you get that financial education you need to make choices. So if you don't have a financial education in the stock market, you're doing what? You're just guessing. And you're hoping that you can buy a cheap stock that can go higher. When you have a financial education, you can invest based on trends that have been around for 30 or 40 years. You get the picture? So a lot of people go, Tyrone, you're really a genius at the stock market. You're so good at picking stocks that are in favor. Now, between you and I'm not really a genius. I just know the pattern. And I'm happy to teach them and share them with you under every market condition. Got it? Got it. And some of the information that I'm sharing with you, yes, the larger firms use the same methodology, but they just don't tell you. So on this show, I like to share some of that insight with you so you can make thousands and thousands of dollars a month buying, holding, and trading stocks, most importantly, for the rest of your life. And that's why the show is called Trading Stocks Made Easy, not Trading Stocks Made Difficult. All right? Okay. So when I can tell you I can help you demystify the stock market, you see where I'm going. So is Apple in favor? Yes. How do we know? Because we know where to go online to see the largest institutional investors who are holding the shares with billions and billions of dollars. We can see the companies who've gotten rich over the last 5 years participating in Apple's share ownership. Now, believe it or not, the largest shareholder in Apple stock is who? Apple Inc., the company. So when you hear them say, we're doing a share buyback and we're raising the dividend, who are they paying? Well, that dividend is paying the largest shareholder, which is who? Them. This is one reason why the rich get richer automatically on Wall Street, because when you're running a publicly traded company and you pay a dividend and you shrink the float by buying back the shares and you increase the dividends, you are the largest recipient. So when your money's in a 401k or let's say a mutual fund that holds Apple shares, you're really not getting the full benefit of the stock price rising. Why? Because the mutual fund manager is deciding what lot size to purchase, and they're also charging you a fee. This is why this financial education thing is so important, because when you give your money to somebody else to manage, you're going to pay a fee for that somewhere along the line. Now, let's just talk about one of the other reasons that Apple stock is in favor, because it's a member of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, those top 30 stocks, and it's also a member of the S&P 500. Well, when you're one of the largest holdings in the Dow and the S&P, and you deliver good earnings, it actually moves the index. It moves the S&P and it moves the Dow. So rather than making this super complicated, what happens if you and I, in this wealth building process, are trying to get richer? Don't we want to own most of the S&P or at least most of the Dow stocks? No, we want to own the Dow stocks and the S&P stocks that are in favor. You and I get richer because the institutions keep buying more and more shares. Do you get it? Okay. I'm going to talk about the third quarter here in 2021. Apple was absolutely astounding because one of their divisions is iPhone sales. How many iPhone sales they sell, right? Well, in Q3, they sold over $39 billion worth of iPhones. The best quarter historically for Apple has always been its fourth quarter because there's an awful lot of upgrading going on and there's a lot of gift giving, right? So when companies are upgrading on the iPhones and we have gift giving, we're generally going to have outstanding sales. So the two biggest sectors at Apple are iPhone sales, Mac sales, and their service sector, okay, which they basically control through credit card billing. Well, if Q3 earnings produced $39 billion in iPhone sales, what do you think Q4 during a gift-giving period did worldwide? The numbers were outstanding. I want you to see here that buying great stocks is not really difficult. Again, it's a system. I'm going to give you the numbers on Apple and their fourth quarter results right after you take a listen to this.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
And welcome back. Okay, on this episode, we're really talking about Apple stock, a member of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We know it's a member of the S&P 500. When there's good news in Apple, the index rises because Apple comprises a large percentage of both the Dow and the S&P 500 and also the NASDAQ, but we'll save that discussion for another time. All right, you ready? So in the fourth quarter, Apple produced $123.9 billion in sales, okay? That is absolutely astounding, and that is up 11% from last year. We call that year over year. Now, the full revenue breakdown was this. Apple iPhone sales was $71.6 billion. That's up 9% year over year. Mac sales, they produced $10.8 billion, up another 25% year over year, right? And their services division, also known as their cloud division, Apple Music and all of that, $19.5 billion, up 25%. Now, I've talked about this on the show before. The service sector, or the service division, if you will, we'll always probably see a rise in sales there because if you've ever taken, let's say, a picture on your iPhone and it gets stored in the cloud, Apple charges you based on the amount of storage that you have. So the more video and film that you shoot, guess what? Your fees go up. So I would expect year-over-year growth on their cloud/services division, right? What's so impressive, the amount of iPhones and Mac computers. Now, they actually saw a slight decline in tablets, but not enough to negatively impact the top-line revenue. If they keep releasing earnings like this stock is really going to rise here. 5 years ago, it was trading around $35 a share. At the time that we were recording the show, the stock was trading around $170 a share. Now, imagine if you bought the shares 5 years ago at $35, right? If you bought 1,000 shares, what does that mean? This is how you make money in the stock market. It means $35,000 is now worth $170,000, right? That's quite an increase. The market loves these shares, and they love the company, and it's always on the cutting edge of innovation. Now, without getting too complicated, you couldn't have really bought the shares at $35 because Apple had a split here. So the numbers that I'm giving you are really split-adjusted numbers. And when you split the stock, you increase the float, but we know that they're going to announce a share buyback and shrink that float and increase the dividend. So when you do that, the net effect is for the next 5 years, these shares are going to rise. Now, listen to me carefully because you may say, hey, Tyrone, give us your thoughts and just give it to us straight. Well, I can't give it to you straight because there's some complexity here. If you're holding Apple in a retirement account, I think you do really well just to hold the shares. Right? Now, just because I like the shares doesn't mean you have to like them. This is not a bold recommendation, but in a retirement account, the shares have performed very well over the last 10 years, so the company has proven itself. If you're a trader, this is a great stock to trade. You're going to give up all that upside to make fast money profits, either volatility trading or covered call writing, but at least you're getting that income from share ownerships if you're a covered call writer. So you have to decide. Now, is it possible, if you like Apple stock, to own it in 2 trading accounts in your TD Ameritrade account? The answer is yes. So maybe you have an account with long-term holds and you're including Apple, but you have another account where you're actively trading the shares. I've seen a lot of my students do that, and that really works well. Overall, I have to give this stock a big thumbs up. You just have to know, are you willing to hold it, or do you want to trade it for fast, sexy money in one account while holding in another? That's part of getting this financial education. It's just not holding stocks. Some stocks make great fast money trades, and Apple seems to fill all 3 categories. What am I waiting for? Well, the stock is not going to split anytime soon, but I sure am waiting for the company to buy back those shares and increase that dividend. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now, if you don't have a financial education and we're in the start of 2022, what are you waiting for? This market over the next 24 years, yes, we're going to see our share of volatility, but there's going to be an awful lot of companies coming to market and an awful lot of dividend increases and share buybacks. Make sure you are there to take advantage of it all. Participating in the stock market doesn't require that you have $50,000 or $100 or $1 million to get started, but it does require that you get started doing something. Even if you have just 5,000, 7,000, 10,000, let me tell you something. Now is the time to get started, because when we recover from this pullback, this market is going to rise. That is to say, become bullish in a big way. It's up to you to change your financial life and participate in the market that is just ahead. Well, there you have it. Apple stock, a big thumbs up in your retirement, a trade, or a hold. It's going to be really hard to lose here. Hey, listen, you know where to go if you want some more stock market advice. You're going to go to thewealthyinvestor.net right now, and you're going to download my free ebook so you start to get that financial education. Don't wait, gang. Don't say, I could have owned Apple stock when it was $170 a share. That's what losers do, right? People who are in the know take action when they know the setup is right. And the setup in Apple stock has never been better. Uh-oh, there goes that music. And that music means, just like a call option, I've run out of time. Thank you so much for sharing your precious time with me. I'm Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor, and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. See you in the market. Ta-ta!
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.